I don't know if you can tell, but I am over 2025 and I cannot wait for 2026 to be here. I feel like I've been talking about planning and kind of like seeing what I want to read for 2026, and in today's video I'm gonna share with you the 10 books that are coming out next year that I am super excited to read. I just want to let you know that I do have 23 books pre-ordered for 2026, which I think is kind of insane considering that I still have a ton of unread books right behind me. But if you want to save money, I don't know if this is gonna be a great tip or not, but to me pre-ordering books is actually a pretty great money saving tips because you can shop for all of the books all at once, but your credit card or whatever payment method that you use will not get charged until the book ships. So you can actually spread out your expenses throughout the year. I think that's a great money saving tips. Anyways, let's talk about the 10 books that I am super excited to read next year. And I guess if you want to get some more inspiration to add more books into your endless TBR, keep on watching. So the first book that is coming out in February 10 is Took and Play by Elie Hazelwood. This is actually classified as a novella, but I am pretty sure there are about 200 something pages, so I think it's still a pretty full book. This book actually is not a new book by Elie Hazelwood. It was published I think a couple years ago only as audiobook with one of the audiobook companies. I forgot if it was Audible or something like that. The only way you can read this book is through audio, and now I guess Elie Hazelwood is publishing it on paperback. It's coming out in February and I cannot wait to read this book. I've heard about this book from, I don't know, someone a few months ago, and the premise sounds pretty interesting. It's about two game creators who actually hate each other, or mostly I think her, because he was kind of like her nemesis, and they are actually forced to work on a game together. And because the boss can sense that they're not really in friendly terms, they were forced to go into this winter retreat as kind of like a team building exercise. I'm pretty sure they are staying in a cabin in like the snow or something, and it was just the two of them. So I think things gonna happen and I cannot wait to read this book. The next book that I am super excited to read is coming out on March 3rd, and it's Just Friends by Haley Pham. If you are slightly interested in bookish community and just bookish content in general, you probably have heard of Haley Pham. I think she has like, I don't know, over 3 million subscribers on her bookish booktube channel, and she actually spent the last year writing her debut YA romance novel. And honestly, I just want to support her. I think I can see a potential for her book to be pretty good, and this is just her first book. I cannot wait to hopefully read more of her books in the near future. But anyways, Just Friends is about childhood best friend who technically lost contact for like 4 years or something because the FMC moved away from the small town that both of them grew up in, and I guess she is coming back to help her mom care for her sick aunt, and then they kind of see each other again because I think she is looking for a part-time job and he is the manager or the boss of that place that she's applied for. So they're gonna be talking again and hopefully rekindle their friendship at least. The next book that I am again excited to read is No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I think that's how you say her last name. It's coming out in March 17, and this book is actually about a married couple, and I feel like a lot of the romance books that are out there that we all probably read don't really have a married couple as the main characters. I think there's only like a handful, and I'm always up for reading more about a married couple in a romance book. But anyways, this is about a couple who actually might get a divorce because their marriage wasn't the same after a traumatic accident. I actually don't know what that accident is. It doesn't really say in the back of the book. They might be finding their way back to each other because they still find that they care about each other. The main premise of this book is the husband, or the soon-to-be ex-husband, was planning to move out without letting the wife know, even though she kind of find out on her own. She found that he is about to sign a lease for like another apartment, so she, I guess, assumed that he was gonna move out and that's gonna be kind of like the end of their marriage. And she decided to take up another hobby, which is a figure drawing class or something, where she has to, I guess, paint people. So the husband actually offered himself to be her model for her class, and I think that's when they kind of start getting to know each other again and actually talking again and hopefully mend their relationship. I think the other twist in this book that is also in the premise of the book is that her best friend is actually the husband's brother. And I'm not really sure if there's gonna be some type of love triangle between the three of them or something, but I cannot wait to read this book. The next book that I have on my list is called The Fortune Flip by Lauren Kang Jessen. It's coming out actually the same week on March 17. I actually have a couple of her books already in my personal collection and I haven't read any of them, but this one is actually about an FMC who really have bad luck. Everything that she does just turned really bad, and I think after sharing a kiss with the MMC of this book, the love interest, her luck started to change. She becomes really good at something, she got a new job and knew everything basically. However, the guy that she kissed, his luck was actually turning to be bad. The book premise kind of reminds me of that movie Just My Luck. I think Lindsay Lohan and Chris Pine were starring in it, and I just want to see how this book would turn out. And honestly, I don't remember the end of the movie, if they got their luck back again or whatever, but I cannot wait to read this book. The next book that I have that is coming out on April 14 is called The Killing Spell by Shay Coway. I'm hoping I'm saying the author's name correctly, but this year I was trying to find more native Hawaiian authors or just kind of like books based on Hawaiian culture and just heritage, and I think I just find a book. So this book is kind of like an urban fantasy book that has language as its magic. It's about a young Hawaiian woman who's also a leader for her clan, and I guess to stay afloat, she kind of finds random jobs and she also sells her language spell. But she quickly turned to a suspect when a prominent figure was murdered by a death spell. So I guess everyone was kind of suspicious about her because she does sell like her language spell. So she has to basically unravel the mystery and proving her innocence. I cannot wait to read this book. Hopefully this will be a great read, and it's coming out next April. So the next book that I have pre-ordered for next year is How to Find a Guy in 5 Weddings by Cynthia Timothy. It's coming out May 12. This is actually her second romance novel, and I did read her first debut novel called Salty Spice and a Little Bit Nice. I think it came out last May as well, and I came across her book I think on NetGalley, and I noticed that her name is definitely like a typical Chinese Indonesian name, and it's true, she is Chinese Indonesian who is based in Australia, and her first book was just so good. I read it as an e-arc like I mentioned, but when the book came out I also decided to get a physical copy, and that is just show how I love her writing. And I even told her like on some of my posts where I post about her book that I cannot wait to read her next book, and it's coming out next year, so I'm super excited. This is a book about our FMC who inherit her grandma's yarn store, but one of the stipulations of her grandma's will is that she can get the store when she can prove to whoever is the organizer of her grandma's will that she is settling down, meaning that she has a boyfriend with like a long-term goal to get married eventually. So she thinks to herself that she's just gonna find a poor guy who maybe needs, I don't know, some money to kind of fake date her just to prove that she is in a relationship. And I guess our love interest in the book kind of overhear how cynical her view of love and marriage are, and he is basically the proponent of happily ever after. So he came over to her and let her know that I bet you I can find you a guy in 5 weddings. So that is how the story is gonna start in this book. I cannot wait to read it next year. Hopefully I'll be able to read it right when the book comes out. Now that I think about it, I might look on NetGalley to see if there's an e-arc for it, and maybe I'll pick it up next year, like earlier before it comes out in May. The next book that I am super excited to read is Score by Kennedy Ryan. It is coming out May 19. This is actually the second book of her book series. I think the series is called the Hollywood Renaissance, if I'm not mistaken. The first book is called Real, and I have that already. I haven't read it, so I'm hoping that I get to read Real first before Scores comes out in May. I'm pretty sure the main characters in Score are actually the side characters in Real, because I know that Kennedy Ryan had talked about how so many readers had asked her to write the story about these two characters from Real, and I think Score is the book for these two characters. So the FMC in Score is a screenwriter, and the MMC is a musician who's working on that movie score that the FMC is writing for. I guess they used to date in college, but they broke up and it was just a disaster. He was her first love and she still cannot stop thinking about him, and he is basically still devastated from the breakup. So when they had to work together for this movie, this just might be the second chance for their love, and I cannot wait to see how their story unfolds. Of course, I'm rooting for these two to get back together, but I know there's gonna be some things that they probably need to work on. Could be the reason why they broke up in college. But I cannot wait to read this book. Okay, the next book that is coming out in May 19 as well is The Shippers by Katherine Center. If you have watched my other videos, you know that Katherine Centers is one of my favorite authors. Anything that I read from her is actually pretty good. It's always 4 stars and above, never 3 star. So I cannot wait to read her new book that is coming out next year. One of the reasons why I'm excited is because the setting is a cruise ship wedding, and I love to go on cruises. I didn't get married on a cruise ship, but I feel like it'd be cool to have a cruise ship wedding as the setting of this book. So this book is about our FMC who is on a cruise ship for her sister's wedding. She is bad in relationships. She always breaks up with her boyfriend, and she decided that once and for all to solve these bad relationships by wooing her first crush and first kiss, who's recently divorced and is a guest at her sister's wedding. So because her sister is super busy with her wedding, being the bride and all, she decided to actually ask her childhood best friend to help her play matchmaker. And of course, I feel like I know what's gonna happen. I already know who I'm rooting for, and I cannot wait to read this book. I have the e-arc for The Shippers. I think someone from either the NetGalley team or the publishers team, or maybe Katherine Center team, sent over an email to me and asked if I want to read the book early, and I said yes, and I downloaded the book. I have it on my Kindle already. I don't know when I'm gonna be reading it, but I'm hoping that I'll be reading it before May. I haven't actually pre-ordered this book because it's coming out in hardcover first, and all of my Katherine Center books recently I switched over from hardcover to paperback, so I'm gonna wait until the paperback is available for pre-order. I'm assuming it's gonna be later on this year, later on in 2026, so I will be getting that book next time. Last but not least, I have Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monaghan that is coming out May 26th. I have read 2 of Annabelle Monaghan's books and I have loved both of them. I feel like if you're looking for an FMC who is in her 30s, who basically have lived through life, they got married, bought a house, have kids, getting a divorce, Annabelle Monaghan's books is probably it for you. I mean, I feel like I relate so much with the FMC because I feel like I'm reading someone's story who I might actually know in real life, and I just feel like I can relate, even though I am still happily married, I have no kids, and we're not getting a divorce. But anyways, I don't know why, but just her writing style is just so good. It's easy to follow. Her book is always pretty short. It's not too long, probably like 350 pages or less. So if you want to find a romance book that is a pretty quick read, I would highly recommend Annabelle Monaghan as well. This is about Dolly, who is a single mom, and she moved back to her hometown with her son to help her dad and her brother basically not to lose their family home. I'm not really sure if their mom just passed away or something, because I feel like that is one of the backstory of Annabelle Monaghan's FMC sometimes. But anyways, Dolly is moving back, and I think one day she basically came across the town's like golden boy, and the town's name is actually his family's name, and I guess they kind of strike a deal to kind of fake date because he was also just got dumped by his girlfriend, and whatever this encounter that they just had was kind of an embarrassing one for him. but I cannot wait to read it. I already pre-ordered the book. I'm hoping that it is in paperback now that I think about it, but I'm pretty sure it is. Oh my gosh, I actually go through this book so quickly. I feel like it's because I don't have the physical books and I have notes on like the premise of the books. Let me know if you guys have any of these books in your pre-order list, because I am super excited for this book. This is my most anticipated books to read in 2026, and like I tell you, I am super excited for 2026 to come. It's gonna be full of great books, and this is just a list of books that I know that is coming out, and I'm pretty sure when 2026 rolls around, I probably will have added more books in my most anticipated books of 2026, and I cannot wait for all of them.